top of the morning to you from the Ramsey Ranch in the Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee. We are not in Ireland. We are in the Smokies, and I'm going to show you how we do corned beef, cabbage, and potatoes here on the Ramsey Ranch, and I'm going to make a super simple Irish soda bread. That's a southern way of saying it. This is going to be a fun video. I love St. Patrick's Day. I admire the man that he was, and so St. Patty's Day is one of my favorite holidays, and this is one of my favorite meals to make through the whole year. So get your Irish clothes on. It's actually not an Irish tradition, it's more of an American tradition, but come along with us.
Oh, it's a simple living in the hills of Tennessee. But Brooks and Christy say that's the life for me.
I'm going to go over our ingredients for our corned beef, cabbage, and potatoes. Well, you need corned beef, cabbage, and potatoes. I actually have two corned beef briskets here, the flat. We get them at Aldi's because generally that is the best price, and it's a great corned beef. I have about 5 pounds here. I know that sounds like a lot, but our family loves corned beef, and I'm sharing it with the family over the course of the week or so. And we've got a nice big head of cabbage. And we've got about 1.5 pounds of the little potatoes here. Because we're not doing a ton of potatoes. I've got one nice onion, and I do not do my corned beef the way most people do their corned beef. So if you're not a fan of the slow simmered, stewed corned beef, cabbage, and potato stuff in a pot, that's not this. This is totally different. My process is to slow cook the corned beef, and then I take it out of the pot and I glaze it with an apricot, soy sauce, and brown sugar glaze, and then I throw it in the broiler and get the glaze all lovely and bubbly. And then I take the juices and I keep them in the pot, and I add our potatoes and cabbage, and I pressure cook them in the juices for however long it takes. But I am using the Pampered Chef Deluxe multi-cooker today, and in between it, I am going to show you how I do Irish soda bread. So let me bring you in closer so you can see what I'm doing. We are going to use the slow cook function on our Deluxe multi-cooker. So I've got the glass lid here, which is an extra accessory, but I have found it to be invaluable on the multi-cooker. So I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to go ahead and cut open corned beef. I love it. I make it once a year, and when I do it, I do a lot of it. All right, I need to get that seasoning packet out of there and just. All right, we're going to go in with our second corned beef. And our seasoning pack. Gotta have that seasoning pack. Easy enough. And then I'm just going to roughly chop up an onion, throw that in on top. These onions are the last onion from onions I got back in December from Azure Standard. They are organic, and they have just been so great. I will be ordering onions again on our next order for April. Today is actually our Azure Standard pickup day. So we're going to head over there and go later and get it. I might do a very quick show of what we got. Okay, meat's in the pot, onions are in the pot, and And now we wait. I have my slow cooker setting set for 8 minutes and long press. We will come back and see what this meat looks like in 8 hours, but in the meantime, we're gonna make some Irish soda bread, and I'm gonna show you how I mix up the glaze for the corned beef. All right, I am ready to make our big jaunt biscuit, otherwise known as Irish soda bread. So I'm gonna start out with self-rising flour. Makes it easier to use self-rising so you don't have to measure out salt and baking soda. I just use self-rising because it's already got it in it. So I'm going in with 4 cups of self-rising flour. And to that, I'm adding in a half a stick of, I'm using salted butter. You could use unsalted if you want to. And it's cold and I have diced it up into cubes. So I'm just gonna use my Danish dough whisk here to get this butter in the flour. And of course we're making a mess because, well, it's just part of it. So what I'm basically doing is getting this butter to where it's kind of crumbly, and it's already starting to look crumbly in there. You can use a pastry cutter if you want to. I actually do not own one, believe it or not, and I make pastries a lot. I probably need to get on that. Okay. All right. So I'm also going to go in with my sugar. I have 2 tablespoons of white sugar. Go ahead and mix that around. And I'm going to use the caraway seed in my Irish soda bread. We like a little bit of it. We're only using half of a teaspoon. Got our little measure-all adjustable measuring spoon here. Half a teaspoon, not much. We don't want a ton. You can definitely, this could definitely go with a full teaspoon, but we just kind of want traces of it. For me, it's more about the way it makes it look than it makes it taste. I just think it's pretty. All right. Now I'm gonna go in with an egg. That is an egg from our Miss Reba out in the country clucker coop out there. She lays pretty speckled eggs. And I'm just kind of scramble it a little bit. Right, like that. I'm adding in a cup and a third of buttermilk. And we're gonna let our Danish dough whisk do its job here. If you don't have a Danish dough whisk, you should have a Danish dough whisk. My mom gave me this one. There is a link to our Amazon store below in the description box, along with the recipes, where if you want a Danish dough whisk, it is in that Amazon store. We make a couple of pennies on that sale if you buy one, so it's not like we're getting rich off of Amazon sales, y'all. It's just there if you need it, because I know a lot of people always ask me about the Danish dough whisk. Okay, so this is starting to come together, almost like a biscuit, and I'm using a half a cup of raisins. You can go more raisins, you can go no raisins. We like a few raisins. So you just use this whisk to carefully get it to where it's mostly combined. Pampered Chef mix and scraper to kind of get it all together. This bowl that I'm using is an antique yellowware bowl that Brooks bought me for Christmas a few years ago. If I had a giant kitchen where I could display it, I'd probably have many more of these because I just think they're an amazing piece of American history. Okay, I am just about ready to turn this out onto the counter and lightly knead it into a loaf. All right, so I'm putting about a 1/4 cup of flour on my counter surface here. And we don't want to knead this until it's dead. We just kind of want it to come together, kind of like a biscuit. As you can see, I'm kind of patting it out into an oval, like an Easter egg almost. Alrighty, I have put the Irish soda bread dough on my medium baking stone here. This is the rectangular baking stone. Mine is very old. It's tried and true, and I love it. And I'm scoring this Irish soda bread just like in a crisscross, just like that. And we're gonna put this in the oven at 400 degrees and we're gonna check it at 45 minutes to see how it's doing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I make the quick and simple glaze that I put on the corned beef when it's done and then put it in the broiler. This is 1 cup of apricot jam or preserves, either will do. I've got a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. We're going to use 2 teaspoons of Bragg's Liquid Aminos. And this is, you can use soy sauce or low sodium soy sauce. We prefer the aminos, they're a little healthier for you. And that's 2 teaspoons. And the 1 tablespoon adjustable measuring spoon. So that's super simple. And we're just going to take our little mini whisk here and whisk it up. This is a silicone pet bowl. It comes in a set of 3, and I actually cannot live without these. They have a lid, so when I'm done with this, I can pop a lid on it and throw it in the refrigerator or just set it aside on the counter. And when I'm ready to glaze the corned beef, it'll be ready. These are also actually oven safe up until 400 degrees, so I use all 3 sizes many times. All right, there is our glaze, super simple, and it will be ready when the corned beef is. Look at this delicious, rustic, wonderful Irish soda bread. It took just about 50 minutes, so I gave it like 5 minutes longer than my initial time. And now we're gonna brush it with some butter and let it cool. So it has been approximately 8 hours, and I believe our corned beef is done. So I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna put it on this foil lined tray here. And we're gonna glaze it and put it in the oven. So I've got my handy dandy meat forks here. Ooh. There's a proper name for these and I'll pop it up on the screen. But they come in really handy when you need to slice any kind of roasts or meats. Ooh. All I can say is, ooh, you should smell this. Two beautiful pieces of meat. Okay. All right. Got a few onions on there. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. There for the moment, and they're magnetic. They hold on to each other when you're not using them. All right, I've got my glaze, which I showed you how to make just prior to this. And I'm just gonna take a basting brush and get it on there really good. And this just takes your corned beef and makes it kind of like if you like a sweet and salty. You would really, really like this. This is the only way I have made it for many years. And everybody loves it. It's one of Emily's favorite meals of the whole year. Thus the reason we have so much corned beef. Because we're gonna share. I'm putting it on there pretty liberally. Now I have, this glaze makes quite a lot. So you probably actually, and I tell myself this every year, I need to cut the recipe in half, but I never do it. But halfway through broiling, I may add some more. Okay, so I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it in the oven in the broiler for 10, we'll see what 10 minutes does. Okay, so while our corned beef is in the broiler, we're gonna use the pressure cook function on the Deluxe multi-cooker to cook our cabbage and our potatoes. But first I'm gonna go ahead and give this a taste because I kind of want to see if it's salty enough. I'm sure it probably is because corned beef is salty. Oh yeah, that's delicious. So I've got a nice sized head of corned beef. I'm going to peel off the outer edges, leaves, and give those to our chickens out back. They actually got a whole cabbage yesterday because it was such a good price. I bought them one and it was gone this morning. I'm gonna quarter this. Maybe I'll eighth it. And then I've got 1.5 pounds of the red and white gold baby potatoes. So I'm gonna put a layer of cabbage. And I'm not using a trivet or anything. I'm just putting it right in with those juices. And more cabbage. That really needs nothing. All right. So this will actually be done pretty close to the time that our corned beef is done in the oven. I'm gonna put our lid on. We're going to custom time 6 minutes and long press. And it'll take just a few minutes to come up to temperature. It's pretty full, so it won't actually take it more than maybe 5-6 minutes to come to temperature. And then 6 minutes later, we will have perfect cabbage and potatoes. And 10 minutes on high broil were perfect to caramelize that wonderful apricot soy glaze. We're gonna cut it now. All right, I have got my 8-inch Sentoku knife and my forks here. So with these, you can use them as slicing guides. If you want to slice thick slices, you use this side, or thin slices, you use this one. It's really, really a nice tool, and I love it. All right, we're gonna slice this corned beef and see what it looks like. Oh, look at that. It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You smell that glaze, you smell that sweetness kind of coming through the air mixed with the smell of the corned beef. Oh! This is our once a year thing. We just love this recipe. And as soon as the potatoes and cabbage are done, I'll bring it back. Actually, I think I'm just going to plate it up and we will see you at the table. But look, very hot at that corned beef. That's beautiful. Our glazed corned beef, our potatoes, and our cabbage are finished, and I have put them on this lovely stoneware platter. And now it's time to eat. It's time for the taste test. We've got potatoes, cabbage, glazed corned beef, and Irish soda bread. Top of the evening to you.
Top of the evening to you. I feel quite Irish today.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Paddy's Day.
We're all Irish today.
I am Scotch-Irish.
You are. I have like 4% Irish, so I guess that counts.
What am I like? 45 and 45?
Yeah, you're definitely Irish.
I'm 45% Irish, 45% Scottish.
And then American Cherokee.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
It is wild. Anyway, you've been moaning and groaning all day. How good all this smells.
Well, it has. It's just the smell of just all things Irish in here. So I'm enjoying that.
The bread baking and the corned beef making and the cabbage stewing.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start.
Well, you start.
I'm starting with a bite of cabbage.
I am going to start with the Irish soda bread.
Which we have stewed in the juices of the corned beef. Perfect cabbage. How's the Irish soda bread?
Beautiful texture. Great taste. Not too sweet, not too savory. It's just right.
Get a little.
It is the definition of Irish soda bread. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Brooke said it best. It's very nice consistency inside. It's kind of a soft biscuit-like.
Yeah.
Even more moist kind of than a biscuit.
You know, it kind of reminds me of the scone.
A little bit. And you've got the little bit of that caraway going through it, and then just a bite of raisin every few bites. So, and then that lovely butter on there.
Yeah.
It's lovely. I don't do it very often. Once a year we do Irish soda bread, but I enjoy it when we do it.
Agreed.
Tater. The multi-cooker did it perfectly. And the juices from the corned beef really are just enough. And if you want more, we've got juice on the platter if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
Make it juicier.
I usually just kind of do that. Those little new potatoes
Yes.
are absolutely the perfect
They're for this
kind
meal.
for
They
this
are.
meal.
I'm going to try my corned beef.
So it's cabbage time for me.
Oh my gosh.
That is just, wow.
That is the way I love corned beef. Just so perfect. You have that nice saltiness of the corned beef with a little bit of that sweetness of the glaze. And it's tender.
Let me tell you what, the cabbage is what I'm on right now. And the cabbage is like so tender and so juicy and so flavorful that I'm just like, I mean, you know, I'm a huge cabbage lover.
Well, you know, I've got another head in there. I could just throw that in there with the juice that's still in the pot and make it so that we can have it later. Cabbage is good. Very good. All right, get into your corned beef. Oh, you did?
I did. The saltiness and the brininess and that beautiful apricot soy glaze that you do. That is something I'd never experienced with corned beef until you. And it is fantastic. I don't really want corned beef any other way. Unless maybe just a plain corned beef sandwich. Which I do enjoy that. Plus, this is great to make corned beef hash.
We don't have any left to do that.
No,
All of
you
this?
rarely do.
We'll be dividing that up between the family, and we'll have maybe a few pieces left for ourselves. I'm thinking I need to go to Aldi's and do one more corned beef while they're still on sale.
Yeah, because it's pretty fantastic. So
Because it is that good, and it's that time of year when you can get it on sale, and it's so good, and it's so tender.
it's really, really good. I have a question for you.
Yeah?
Do you know why the leprechaun crossed the road?
No.
Because the light turned green.
So corny.
Corny. So is the beef today.
It is really good.
It really is. Did you know that leprechauns can cast spells on you?
No.
You know what they use?
What's that?
Lucky Charms. How about that?
You're a nut.
You know why they don't want a bowl of soup?
Why?
They already have a pot of gold. Why would you want a bowl of soup when you can have a pot of gold?
We're going to do with this guy, guys and gals. One of our absolute favorite meals of the year for sure.
It really is.
And you know, it's not hard. Obviously, it takes longer when we're filming and things, and you get the shortened version. And, you know, you could also bake this in the oven and get the same results and then do the broil on the sauce. I just prefer the slow cook method.
I do too.
It'd probably do good in an Instapot too.
I think it would.
Yeah, so I think, you know, however you make it, you know, you're not going to boil it. That's the main thing. You don't want to boil it. You want to let it roast or slow cook. You like that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Emily has already said, are we doing family dinner this week or whatever? you know, for you know, we missed last year because Malachi had just been born, our grandson.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a super busy week ahead, and we had a super busy day today with having to pick up our Azure Standard order. So I went ahead and made it, and I said, well, we can't have it together because we don't have the time today to do that, but I'm going to wrap you all up some and make sure that you get it. So she will.
Mm-hmm.
St. Patrick's Day is one of my most favorite holidays. St. Patrick was a Christian, not above all Christians, but he was the definition of a Christian. He certainly deserves a saint title. And he deserves a holiday. If you don't know about the life of St. Patrick, you should study it, especially if you are a Christian.
Great movie.
There's a good movie about it. I grew up in a Christian household, but we didn't really know a whole lot about St. Patrick himself. We weren't taught about him.
Yeah.
And as an adult, I learned about him. And if you want to get a true blessing, go and Google the whole entire breastplate prayer.
Yes.
And that can tell you, and that gives you a big window into who St. Patrick was. So I adore it. I someday would love to travel to Ireland.
Absolutely.
And this is an American tradition.
It is.
They don't do this on St. Patrick's Day over in Ireland. This is an Irish-American tradition.
It is.
But I love it. It's something that we love to do, and we do our corned beef just a little bit different than most folks. We don't like the whole boiled in a pot thing.
No, we're not a fan of that at all. Boiled.
That's what you grew up with, isn't it?
Not boiled corned beef. It was more baked, but it wasn't done anything like this. It didn't have any of the. It was just very. That's not, nothing traditional about this right here. This is just your version, and it's awesome. And so,
I hope that our friends on the Ramsey Ranch will love it, and I hope they'll do it.
Hope you give it a shot for sure.
Even if it's after St. Patrick's Day, go get an on sale corned beef brisket and make you it, because it's so good.
It's really, really good. Well, we are going to finish our dinner because it's just too fantastic, and I can't stand smelling it and not eating it. So, so we're going to do that. I like this dinner very much. If you like this video, make sure to please give us a big thumbs up. Smash that like button, because that's going to help us build the Ramsey Ranch channel. We're almost to 1,000. If you can share our channel or share this video out, that will help us a great deal. Yes. Don't forget to mark your calendars for our collaboration with the 7 other phenomenal channels from April 5th to 12th. We are going to be showing you all about brunch. And Brooks and I are actually going on a field trip this week for part of our episode, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Yes, they will. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We would love that if you would come along on the Ramsey Ranch here with us. And make sure, ringy dingy, hit that notification bell so that you know every time we've got new content posted. She is Christy and I'm Brooks, but we want to give you a little Irish blessing to send you off today. So, may the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. God bless you all. We love you. And well, get you in that kitchen and make up something good. That's right. Bye-bye, everybody. We love you. See you next time.